Hello friends, I am Professor Smita Jha from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, and I am here to discuss various aspects of research methodology in humanities and social sciences. And one of the very important aspects, the documentation. Documentation as per the given format, whether it is MLA9 or APA. Well, today I am going to discuss citing DOI. So what is DOI? A DOI, which is called Digital Object Identifier, is a unique, persistent, alphanumeric string used to identify and provide a permanent link to digital objects, especially research articles, database and data sets, and other scholarly content. It ensures that scholarly work remains easily accessible and citable, and if the original URL changes. DOIs are assigned by registration agencies like cross-reference and are designed to be resolvable, meaning they can be used to access the object they identify. A DOI or digital object identifier is a string of numbers, letters, and symbols used to uniquely identify an article or document and to provide it with a permanent web address, which is URL. A DOI is like a social security number for the article you are citing. It will always refer to that article and only that one. Web addresses like URLs might change, but DOIs will stay the same. If a journal assigns a DOI to its published article, it gives authenticity to a journal. DOI ensure the international standardization of scholarly articles and research papers. It helps scholars to easily locate the research paper from your citation, as it always refers to an article, published paper, and only that one, which in turn increases the acceptance of scholarly data as authorized, lawful, and citable material. Now, key aspects of DOIs in research are uniqueness and persistence. DOIs are unique identifiers that remain constant throughout the lifetime of the digital object, unlike URLs, which may change. Citable and findable. DOIs make research output more citable and findable, allowing for easier tracking of citations and impact matrix. Access to content. DOIs provide a persistent link to the digital object, enabling users to locate and access the content regardless of changes in the original URL. Now, international standard. DOIs are a standardized system for identifying and linking to digital objects, ensuring interoperability and facilitating the management of scholarly content. Use in citation. Many citation styles like APA, MLA, and Chicago requires the inclusion of a DOI in citations for electronic journal articles and other online content. Assigning DOIs. Publishers often assign DOIs to electronic articles upon publication, and registration agencies like cross-reference. Finding a DOI, journal articles. DOIs are often printed on the first page of journal articles, usually in the header or footer. Online database. Many online databases like EBSCO database provide DOIs in their citation formats. Cross-reference.org search. If a DOI is not readily available, it can be searched for an cross-reference.org, which provides citation linking services for scientific publishers. How can I use a DOI to find the article it refers to? If your DOI start with http:// or https:// simply paste it into your web browser. This will usually lead you to a journal publisher's page for the article. You can turn any DOI starting with 10 into a URL by adding http://doi.org / before the DOI, for example 10.3352. This is the address, I am just citing it, and whatever it is you see on the screen becomes https://doi.org. Now, and after that this address. Now, you must have gathered the knowledge that see https:// and doi.org is the main address. If you are off campus, when you do this, you will need to use this URL prefix in front of the DOI to gain access to UICS full text journal subscription. Now, https://proxy.cc.uic.edu, and see in the last it is doi.org, and again for example https:// and then the whole address. So, if you are out of the campus, to get the whole address you have to cite https:// and doi.org and with other address. How do I cite journal article with a DOI in APA format? Now, in APA format, the 7th edition include the DOI for all works that have one. It goes at the end of your reference, no period of the end. Write the DOI as a hyperlink starting with https:// doi.org. Author A. comma and author B.C, and then date of publication, title of article, title of journal, volume number, page range, and then DOI address also. So, see, in the same manner it is written https:// doi.org and then / other address. So, if your article has no DOI whatsoever, which may happen with older article, simply omit this from the citation. And again, see, in the same manner it is written. If your article includes both a DOI and a URL, include only the DOI. See, these and other example in other website, and other website rich in giving you an information regarding the citation of DOI and URL. How to find DOI? For journal articles, the DOI can typically be found at the top of the page along with the title, author's name and other publication information. PDFs of journal articles downloaded from an academic database often include the DOI on the other page and or at the bottom of each page. DOI examples and format. There are 3 different ways of writing a DOI. First, http:// and then dx.doi.org, then DOI:/XXS or DOI:/XXS, then https:// doi.org and then / and this. The last one is the most recent preferred format, that is https:// doi.org, but any type is valid as long as it includes the right alphanumeric identifier. A correct DOI would look something like this, and you see this is the correct DOI. Why is it important to use DOI? This is a very important question. It's important to use DOIs when available because they add credibility to the source. If a citation includes a DOI, the source is unique and real. Ultimately, if the source has a DOI, use it. Do not use the URL of the source if a DOI is available. URLs might change over time while DOIs do not. Is a DOI the same as URL? No. URLs and DOIs are not interchangeable. A DOI is an unchanging, unique alphanumeric identifier that labels digital material and pinpoints its location online, whereas a URL is a digital locator that can change over time. Why should I use DOIs in my citations? DOIs were invented for a reason. Digital object identifiers allow readers to locate a specific material online. They also add credibility to your sources. A DOI aims to be resolvable, usually to some form of access to the information object to which the DOI refers. This is achieved by binding the DOI to a metadata about the object, such as a URL, indicating where the object can be found. Thus, by being actionable and interoperable, a DOI differs from identifiers such as ISBNs and ISRCs, which aim only to identify their reference uniquely. The DOI for a document remains fixed over the lifetime of the document, whereas its location and other metadata may change. Developed by a group of international publishers, the DOI system provides a way to guarantee that digital copies of articles can remain accessible even if a journal changes its domain name or ceases publishing. DOIs are assigned and maintained by registration agencies such as Cross-Reference, which provide citation linking services for scientific publisher. Benefits of DOI. It's a persistent identifier or handle used to identify objects uniquely standardized by the International Organization for Standardization. Automated link from DOI to any and multiple data. Build your own custom features, entirely extensible architecture. Generic applicability, any form of intellectual property, granularity. Ensure interoperability using existing standards. Ensure long-term use. The DOI system uses the index content model for representing metadata. DOIs identify content permanently. Now, citations count plays an important role in evaluating the importance of published research, so citation to published work matters to all the authors. DOI makes sure that each published article gets its unique identity and can be cited easily, which increase the visibility of published work. So, as an author, you need to make sure that you publish your research in journal which provides DOI. Don't waste efforts in publishing without DOI. Get proper indexation and citation to the article by publishing it with a journal that is assigning DOI to your work. Finding an article using a DOI link. When you see a DOI reference to an article online, you can usually just click on the DOI to access the article, provided that if applicable, you have the required access rights to the platform where the article is located. Now, in cases where you see a DOI in a printed document, or if the online DOI is not clickable, for some reason, it is possible to access the article as copy the DOI of the article that you want to access, like the number. Go to http:// and whatever I told you to slash and dexdoi.org, enter the DOI in the text box provided and click go. The document that matches the DOI you entered will display in your browser window. The DOI scheme is administered by the International DOI Foundation and is based on a linking scheme known as cross-reference. For more extensive information on DOIs, please refer to Cross-Reference DOI Guide. A digital object identifier is a persistent identifier or handle used to uniquely identify various objects, standardized by the International Organization for Standardization ISO. DOIs are an implementation of the handle system. They also fit within DORI system. They are widely used to identify academic, professional, and government information such as journal articles, research report, data sets, and official publications. To understand the historical context of DOIs, we need to trace back to the late 20th century when the internet was rapidly expanding and digital information was becoming increasingly prevalent. In the early days of the internet, hyperlinking became a fundamental tool for connecting web page and resources. However, as the amount of digital content grew exponentially, maintaining reliable and persistent links became a significant challenge. URLs, that is uniform resource locators, were commonly used to reference web pages, but they were prone to link rot, a situation where URLs became invalid due to changes in web addresses or the disappearance of resources. Recognizing the need for a robust and persistent linking system, the International DOI Foundation, that is IDF, was established in 1998. The IDF collaborated with various stakeholders, including publishers, libraries, and technology providers, to develop the DOI system. The DOI system drew inspiration from the Handle system, a decentralized network protocol designed for assigning unique identifiers to digital objects. Building upon the concept, the DOI system introduced a centralized registration agency responsible for assigning and maintaining DOIs. This agency is known as the International DOI Foundation Registration Authority. In 2000, the IDF officially launched the DOI system, initially focusing on the academic and publishing sector. The primary goal was to provide a reliable and persistent identifier for scholarly articles, journals, and other digital resources. Publishers began assigning DOIs to their publication, ensuring that even if web addresses change or content was moved, the DOI would remain constant and provide a reliable link to the resources. Over time, the uses of DOIs expanded beyond scholarly publishing. Other domains, including government agencies, research institutions, and industry sector, recognize the benefits of DOIs in ensuring persistent access to digital resources. DOIs were assigned to data sets, conference, paper, reports, and various other types of digital content, broadening their application and relevance. To support the DOI system infrastructure, several organizations emerged as DOI registration agency responsible for assigning DOIs within a specific field or industries. These registration agencies work in collaboration with IDF to ensure the integrity and functionality of the DOI system. Today, DOIs have become an integral part of scholarly communication and digital knowledge dissemination. They provide a reliable and standardized method for identifying, accessing, and citing digital resources, ensuring their long-term availability, and facilitating accurate referencing in academic and professional context. How can one use a DOI to find the article it referred to? To utilize a DOI to locate the article it references, one can follow a straightforward process. Firstly, copy the DOI, which is typically presented as a unique alphanumeric string such as whatever the number. Next, proceed to a web browser and navigate to a DOI resolver service. These services are specifically designed to translate DOIs into actionable links that lead directly to the desired article. Common DOI resolver services include Cross-Reference DOI Resolver and the International DOI Foundation's Resolver. Once on the DOI Resolver service, paste the copied DOI into the provided search or input field. Click the Resolve or Go button to initiate the search process. The DOI resolver will then process the DOI and redirect the user to the web page or landing page of the corresponding article. This page typically contains detailed information about the article, including the title, author's abstract, publication details. In many cases, users will have free or limited access to the full text of article depending on the journal subscription or access policies. DOIs for data sets are typically provided alongside the data set's description, metadata, or citation information. Reports, white papers, technical documents, and other similar resources may also have DOIs assigned to them. The DOI is often mentioned on the cover page, header, or within the document's metadata. Online journals and database platform. Many online journals and academic database platforms display DOIs as part of their article metadata. When browsing through articles on this platform, the DOI is usually provided alongside the article's title, authors, and abstract. Now, what are the digital repositories and institutional website? Digital repositories such as institutional repositories or subject-specific repositories often assign DOIs to the content they host. When accessing materials from these repositories, the DOI can typically be found on the web page displaying the resource or in the repository's citation guideline. Reference list and citation. When exploring scholarly articles, it is common to find DOIs listed in reference list alongside the bibliographic information for cited works. Citation in other publications such as books or articles may also include DOIs when available. DOIs are important because they increase the reach and the impact of your research work. Publishers, repositories, aggregators, and other providers of research information use DOIs to identify research work precisely. Thanks to DOIs, research work can in turn be assigned more reliably to their copyright holders. Furthermore, metadata and information about individual research works are increasingly linked with DOIs. The video, The DOI for Data, explained the significance of DOIs for research data. The DOI is used for publications in publication context and for scientific specialist journals. In order to receive a DOI, the publisher with whom you publish must be a member of a DOI organization. But other institutions can assign DOIs too. For example, you receive a DOI for content that you upload to the Open Science Framework. You can read about how this functions in the worksheet. Make your own data sustainable and transparent. Publication on Zenodo also quickly and easily receive a citable DOI free of charge. Why do I need one for my article, report, research data, etc.? The other key benefit of a DOI is that it uniquely identifies the item to which the DOI points. With a DOI, it is possible to disambiguate with complete certainty between other similar items. Because a DOI is a unique string of character, it is easy to analyze where it is cited in a next document or on the web. An entire ecosystem has developed around the identification and analysis of DOI, like altmetric analysis, social media DOI references to provide metrics that allow authors to find where their work is being cited or refused. A company called DataCite creates our DOIs for us. Orchid will, with the permission of the author, search the DataCite metadata store and automatically add to your profile research datasets, images, and other works that contain your Orchid. The Scholex framework uses DOI metadata to determine link between a scholarly literature and underlying research data, as well as determining where data sets are cited. Getting a DOI for your work is one of the best ways to take advantage of the opportunities these tools provide. How do I get one? Deposit your items in Apollo repository. The Apollo repository is how the University of Cambridge disseminates its research outputs to the outside world. Apollo accepts many kinds of research outputs, and the OSC works closely with university staff and researchers to make sure the types of material that Apollo accepts are representative of current practice. The OSC maintains the Apollo repository terms of the use policy, which explains what kind of research outputs can be deposited, how we manage end user access, and the responsibilities of depositors and the Apollo repository itself. The Office of Scholarly Communication website has detailed advice about how to deposit the most common forms of research output. If you don't find your answer there, please you can email like supportrepository.cam.ac.uk, and your request will be handled by the most appropriate team. Now, ISBNs and DOIs, obtaining a unique identifier for your publication, ISBNs and DOI, which I have already discussed. Once a publication has been produced, it may be useful to add a unique identifier to make it easier to locate an identifier. So, ISBN is International Standard Book Number. So, there is no legal requirement for a book or monograph to have an ISBN. It is primarily to allow for more efficient marketing, class dissemination, and identification of outputs by universities, authors, libraries, booksellers, wholesalers, and distributors. It allows others to identify the specific version of that publication, which potentially might be ambiguous via a citation reliant upon author, title, publication date only. It helps with cataloging, and if you wish to sell or distribute a publication through major bookselling chains or internet bookseller, you will usually required to have an ISBN. With this, I conclude the discussion, and I'm sure that this discussion of mine must be very useful to you while documenting the online, citation URL DOI. Let us meet in another discussion with a new topic. Till then, thank you.